GCOM releases preliminary results, the Commission's chairman says they have delivered free, fair and credible elections, and the coalition urges patience as elections results are tabulated. It's Tuesday, March 3. Thank you for joining us. The Guyana Elections Commission today released official results of the 2020 general and regional elections of 139 polling stations across the country. Details in this report.
The 139 figure represents just over 5% of the total 2,339 polling places processed so far. In the preliminary announcement, the Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change coalition leads with 19,135 votes in several regions from a total 30,621. The opposition's People's Progressive Party follows with 11,032. New political parties, together including Change Guyana, the Justice and Liberty Party, and the Citizen Initiative, among others, account for some 454 votes so far. At a press conference today, Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield explained that the Commission only began receiving statements of polls from returning officers at 2 a.m. today. Most of the outstanding declarations are from the hinterland regions.
The process, ladies and gentlemen, be reminded, entails, as I said, the ROs publicly, in the presence of the agents of the respective parties, who I would have asked, or the ROs would have asked to walk along with their own statements, so that a true verification would have been conducted. In some instances, we started, and particularly the counting agents of some parties, were not armed with their own statements from their parties. So we've had some delays, and we will continue today to bring closure to that entire exercise that will allow for a declaration of the results in all of the districts today.
Lowenfield noted that the Commission will allow political parties to examine the results. Should there be a call for a recount in any district, that will also be allowed.
So there is where we are at this point in time. We are at E+1, and I did indicate in my own forecasting that all things being equal, well, it's forecasting, that today would have been the day when all the declarations would have been done at the level of the districts, and that declaration would have necessitated the onward movement towards the processing, if any, of recounts, and therefore allow the CEO to make his declaration.
The CEO said the Commission has received statements from Region 2 and 92% of Region 3. For Region 4, some 400 ballots are yet to be received. All of Region 5 has been received, while just a few communities in Region 6 are to be declared. The Commission has received statements from Bartica in Region 7 and some riverine communities. Weather conditions in Region 8 has hindered the delivery of statements in some areas. The Commission has received SOPs from Madia.
We're in the process, and as I indicated, the inclement weather in it, so that we could have tackled the North Pacaraimers to ensure all the statements from that sub-region is collected. I cannot say with any degree of accuracy the weather situation, but we are hopeful that at the end of the day that we conclude our receipts of the statements from the North Pacaraimers.
For Info Hobelix, is Rodney.
Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has said the agency delivered free, fair and credible elections. More in this report.
Following the task of conducting general and regional elections on March 2, GCOM's chairperson, retired Justice Claudette Singh, commended the GCOM staff for a smooth process.
The elections yesterday were well run, and on behalf of the Commission, I have to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to our CEO and his hard-working secretariat. They did a fantastic job. They were working days into nights without realizing nights. They were working during the night. They worked throughout. And I am very appreciative of that fact because we had a very well-run election. Despite all the naysayers and all the many rough areas which we had to endure.
The chairperson's statement was endorsed by members of the diplomatic corps who observed the process. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Sarah Ann Lynch, and British High Commissioner Greg Quinn both described the process as successful.
I was out in several regions yesterday. I went to a couple polling stations in the Essequibo, in Bartica, in Linden, Skeldon. I was in a number of different places, also Rose Hall in New Amsterdam, and then finished in Georgetown. And in each case, things were well run and very smooth. So it's really a great achievement and a great success.
Everywhere we went yesterday, the process worked exactly as it should do and exactly as it's prescribed within the system. You know, the procedures were there. For example, whenever people turned up without a voter ID card, the procedures that were meant to be followed were followed. So based on everything we saw, albeit from a small sample of polling stations, everything was fine.
A total of 13 political parties contested Monday's elections, with approximately 600,000 electors on the official list of electors qualified to cast their ballots. Sneaker Thorne, InfoHub.
In a release issued today, the APNU-AFC coalition thanked the Guyanese nation for the patience exercised on election day yesterday and continues to exercise as the results are tabulated by the Guyana Elections Commission. The coalition noted that the elections body must be allowed to do its work and called on its supporters to remain calm and to go about their daily activities as the country awaits the announcement from GCOM. Guyanese have voted, and expectations are that the next government's management of the oil resources will be people-centered. More in this report.
Don Gordon of Klein Porterine, West Bank Demerara, who operates a sweet stand, is expecting the oil revenues to be shared evenly among Guyanese.
With the oil coming and so behind, now you vote for the government that you think can share the money the right way. And old people, disability people, children that can't do nothing for themselves, that parents got to fight hard for them, I feel they should use up the resource of the money, at least for help children like those.
Don noted that while emphasis will be placed mostly on youth, senior citizens must also see benefits, especially those who have worked for many years in the private sector.
My mother, she's 80, but she stopped working a very long time because she grew up doing domestic work. So with that, she don't only get in one benefit, because in the early they never used to pay no NIS and stuff for people that just to do domestic in the very early. So with that now, I'm glad the pension get a little bit more, so my mother could benefit.
Don was among the early voters who cast their ballot at the West Demerara Secondary School. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority on February 28 handed over the keys to 43 homes in Sand Creek. Isaiah Braffett was there and filed this report.
54-year-old Janet Spencer says she's enjoying better living conditions after receiving a brand new home. The house is one of 43 constructed under the Central Housing and Planning Authority's Sustainable Housing for the Hinterland program in Sand Creek, Region 9.
At this new house, I'm very happy and I am comfortable more than before, because before I was punished with the thatch roof, and now I see this thing is improvement for me and my children are comfortable.
7 houses also benefited from roof replacement. Sita Borjan is one of those beneficiaries.
I benefited from the roofing replacement, where I never thought of. Now I'm happy.
CHMPA's Chief Executive Officer Leland Saul told the beneficiaries that the mission of the government is to provide sustainable housing for all Guyanese. With that, he reminded that the government is one that works in the interest of the people.
We recognize the need to improve the way how we live. And so The Central Housing and Planning Authority, since it was established in 1948, the mandate was simple, was to improve the living standard of people.
The Sustainable Housing for Hinterland program is funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, targeting 29 communities, including satellite villages in Regions 1 and 9, to the tune of $666.5 million. Sand Creek benefited from approximately $65 million of that amount. Reporting from Sand Creek in Region 9, I am Isaiah Braffett with senior videographer T.H. Paul Bridgemohan for InfoHub.
When the news returns, $50 million Agar Processing plant opened in Parica and GWI commissions water supply systems in Region 9 community. Details of these stories and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Approximately 100 Region 3 farmers will benefit following the opening of a $50 million agro processing facility at Parica over the past weekend. During a tour of the newly commissioned facility, Floor Supervisor Dwight Harris said approximately 24,000 pounds of plantains will be utilized on a monthly basis.
This facility can process 200 pounds of raw material per an hour. The raw materials are weighed, washed, and then passed through a slicer, after which it passed through the blancher, then it placed into the dewatering machine. The dewatering improves the shelf life of the product for approximately 6 months. The product is then placed into the fryer, the de-oiler, the seasoning drum, whereby the flavor is added, and then onto the inspection table.
Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder, who officially opened the facility, said more than 20 persons employed at the facility will work with Guyana Marketing Corporation, who will assist with sourcing packaging material, providing technical guidance in terms of development of their nutritional labels, and linkages to agencies. The minister said there has been an increase in the number of products manufactured in the agro-processing sector over the last 4 years. This he credited to several partnerships between the Ministry of Agriculture and other agencies.
We have collaborated with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to tap into the diaspora to expand our agro-industry. Additionally, we have collaborated with other government and international partners to create the enabling environment for our farmers and other stakeholders. The Guyana Marketing Corporation has been the prime mover in the identification of markets for non-traditional crops.
During the commissioning ceremony, a new brand of packaged plantain chip, Hana, which means river in Warao, was also launched. The Guyana Water Incorporated recently commissioned a new $10 million water supply system in the Region 9 community of Carasabai.
Managing Director of GWI, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, said the company has taken up the call by the President to reduce the gap between the hinterland and the coastland.
What is important is that in the last 4 years, GWI, with the support of your government and the direction of your President, we have been able to drill 48 wells across this country. It tells you that our vision and that of our President is in the direction of development of all of our communities because of the importance of water, not singularly for human health, but for the development of all of these communities.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Honourable Sidney Allicock, relayed the importance of water as a basic human need and assured that the hinterland regions will continue to benefit under the coalition government.
Adequate water, you will be able to have the daily consumption, but you would also be able to have water for your plants, water for the wild animals, water for domestic animals. And that is why government, your government, has been planning, not only dreaming, but putting things into practice.
Barbara Edwards, a teacher of the Karasabai Primary, shared her views on the new water system.
The water is very useful to the students because years pass, children used to suffer without water, fetching buckets of water from wells of neighbors. Today we are having water straight to the pipe, fill up their little bottles, and that's it. No more fetching of water. Those days are gone. Thanks to GWI and this government for making this success.
The project was executed by GWI, Fox Services and Trade, and the Karasabai Village Council. It entailed the drilling of a well to the depth of 100 meters, installation of 4 kilometers of distribution pipelines, 78 new service connections, and the rehabilitation of the previously existing water supply system. GWI also commissioned another water supply system in the Region 9 village of Marawi at a cost of $13 million. For InfoHub, Gavin Lewis.
Guyanese no longer have to travel overseas for restorative eye surgery, as more than $4 million worth of equipment has been donated to the Georgetown Public Hospital.
The equipment donated to the hospital by the Church of the Latter-day Saints will allow medical retinal specialists to treat conditions such as diabetic retinopathy and save citizens the expense of traveling for a treatment abroad. Chief Executive Officer of GPHC retired Brigadier George Lewis said that the hospital has been making strides to improve eye care, and with an increase in diabetic challenges, eye care service is especially needed.
In an effort to improve the delivery of eye care provided at the Georgetown Public Hospital, the Department of Ophthalmology has over the past 4 years introduced cornea transplant surgeries, diabetic eye screening, and laser treatment for diabetic retinopathy. With a notable rise in diabetes-related challenges among Guyanese, there is an urgent need to enable the provision of restorative eye surgery within the country, and more particularly at the Georgetown Public Hospital.
Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Health, Glendon Fudgenay, said the equipment will be used to its fullest.
I can assure you, our donors, that this equipment will be utilized to its fullest, and it will be maintained as it should. This donation also marks a milestone in a long-lasting relationship.
Along with the equipment, Dr. Richard Corey, a consultant vitreoretinal surgeon from the United States of America, will be training students to use the equipment. For InfoHub, Akishi Budi.
That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.